Hello, beloved. Let the bugles blast. Sage, Foos, everyone. Coleridge, a.k.a. Brianimus. Fucking legend. Guys, we're here. We're about to embark on episode 1 of the New Moon Chronicles. How the fuck are you, Brian? I have only your nameplate saying Coleridge up, so I feel like an actor that's being interviewed in the dressing room, but...
I'm good. A little nervous. Here, introducing a new character. I've only performed the actions of the character in front of the bathroom mirror, and even then, in brief little spurts.
The foundation of many an actor's method, right?
I was just looking at myself. It's like, how silly do I look when I do this? Ooh,
how insane am I?
Yeah, barely silly. I know if my wife starts laughing from the other room, I'm doing something correct.
Yeah, so. Agreed. Whenever you hear a deep chortle, a chortle from across the way.
But she made this. Shout out to Evie.
Evie is such a beast. Yeah, she did. She made that tunic.
She made my tunic. Special tunic day.
There you go. Well, guys, we are very excited to be here. I'm Carpe the DM. This is Brianimus. Foos, I fucking love you. I'm glad we're happy to be here. Some of you guys were here whenever we built this world, but I think we just got to jump in, dude. We've been chewing the fat for a minute. I want to say that we, I don't have the chat streaming overlay. We probably will be ignoring it for the most part. But please, give us your thoughts, your quips, your quibbles. Let me know if I need to take it easy on Brian or harder. Always harder. And with no further ado, let's jump in.
Oh, geez, I'm nervous.
So,
okay.
Coleridge, we'll call him. A man struck with grief from a young age, as many D&D adventurers are, but you found yourself kicking around like a mummer's troop looking for purchase across the stage. And along your way, be it fey, fiend, or otherwise, you have come to see and know many versions of magic, of incantation, of evocation. You've also known the pulses, the pullings and pushings of what drives mankind. Perhaps it was simply your time with Dasha, unturning stones and emptying pockets. Or perhaps now, as you've traveled to the city of Ukalahn on the western coast of Lucedahn. And there we're not meeting Coleridge, we're in fact meeting a man known to the local denizens as Brother Thomas, a humble man of the cloth, serving alongside a rectory father by the name of Gershki, and serving the storm god Raquel. It's been a comfortable living for you, Thomas. The trust imbued in you by the local rectory, the good faith of the neighborhoods and peoples, a time of bounty, a time of wean. But as is often the case with, those that walk the gray line between right and wrong, is perhaps a sense of another shoe dropping. So, today we're going to pick up and go ahead and jump into yield combat screen. But we're going to go ahead and jump, and I'll show you here on the map. All the way to Ukalahn. Puts us roughly here. And you have just returned. It's mid-afternoon. The day sort of waning, but still fresh, full of purpose. And you essentially hear the jangling of the exterior gate creaking, and the steady footfalls of Father Gershki.
Another day, another time. Oh, Brother Thomas, I see what I heard from Lady Magdalene that you'd have made your way across the square and blessed her coop of chickens. That was very kind of you.
I believe they blessed me, Father.
Well,
How are the knees today?
they are aching, they are piping like a summer storm, but my heart is full, son. I thank you
You
for
burned
asking.
those pains, Father. You burned them well.
I have no choice but to wear them.
You see him, you know him well, but he's a tall, willowy man. I mean, face like a raisin, but extremely cheerful. And on either side, probably only half full because you don't see them sloshing, but he's still struggling with it. He carries pails.
Help me with these, child. Help me. He
My
proffers them.
pleasure. Yeah, I grab both.
No,
They're a little heavy for me as well.
my wrists aren't what they used to be. Too much scolding from the moms. I wanted to bend your ear, Thomas. Lady Backbrook. I'm not sure if it's simply the turnings of the celestial, but she's darkened my door more than once. She's worried about her husband, some new business endeavor to the east. But I was hoping you could perhaps pay a visit, see if there's anything you could do for the Backbrooks. They are, well, how shall I put it, as faithful as they are well endowed.
Certainly, anything you wish, Father. Personal call to their lodgings, or are they
Yes,
coming?
It would be appropriate. They live in that area, the longhouses, away from the port,
And I'll drop it here into the owlbear for you, but you're quite familiar with Ukalahn. The rectory sits essentially here, part of this larger set of buildings. And you're going to these individual houses along the eastern side, this neighborhood.
Oh wow. Sure. Anything in particular that they desire, or just spiritual guidance?
you should ask them. Lady Backbrook is not particularly close-mouthed, but her husband, a bit of a wild man. He tosses coin about, fortune to the wind. I'm not sure if it's simply a matter of gold and silver or something deeper, but Lady Backbrook seems troubled.
Trouble finds us all. I'll see what I can do.
Do, and if you would be so kind as to pick up perhaps some beets, a white onion, I don't know, something.
Hold on. Let me get to my writing. Beets, white onion.
Beets, white onion, and 2 scallops, and well, I think that should be good. If you see any of that fresh thyme that Esmeralda sells, grab me a bushel.
Esmeralda's time. Oh gosh.
Just if it looks fresh, the old witch might be deceiving you.
And he shoves 7 coppers and a silver into your chest.
7 coppers and a silver. Whoa. I was hoping Esmeralda would maybe donate her scallops to her time to the church, but
Well,
if not,
she hasn't
that's
seen.
like a
You make sure to mention that to her, and make sure you're a distance away where she can't spit on you.
I'll be as subtle as the good lords will let me.
Good.
You see him sort of brush the back of his robes and take a seat here in this kind of courtyard where you've been working.
The days grow shorter, and yet they seem fuller at the same time. Well, be home before dark, but sooner than that so I can get those onions to working.
You see, like, within moments, the heavy bushes of his eyebrows start to droop.
All right.
Did I mention scallops? 2
Yes,
scallops, but
2 scallops, yes.
make sure to smell
I'll
them.
get 3 in case one of them turns sour.
That would, well, if it fits, if they're selling it for cheap, don't buy it.
Well, maybe the Lady Backbrook can help us out.
I would hope.
Let me help you to your chambers, Father. I think it's time for your afternoon sabbatical.
He leans into you, Coleridge. And it's funny because it's been weeks since you've really had to think about the name Thomas. It fits you in a way that often does whenever you become accustomed to the character you're playing, the version of yourself that you're presenting to the world. You walk him through the chapel itself and up to the second floor, his humble room.
Thank you, son. All right. As soon as this candle all wakes up.
And you see him do something he does regularly, which is like place a candle near the foot of his bed. He like relies on like the wax to eventually wake him when it's been long enough.
I'll see you tonight. He sort of starts tucking himself in.
And goes extremely rigid. Like, you know that Gershki could go at any moment.
I lightly pinch the flame on the candle.
You know what? Give me a sleight of hand check if you don't mind.
Wow. First roll of the campaign. 24.
24, let's fucking get it. Not a problem. You pat his feet and squeeze one of them. And with your left hand, which is shielded kind of behind your body, blocked by your torso, forefinger and thumb, put it out. You exit to the bustling streets of Ukalahn. Not a particularly large village, but a close-knit one, and one that's particularly prosperous here on the western side of the southern sea. It's close enough to Talbot's Pass that it makes the ports to the north, and even has regular courier back and forth with the far-flung islands. You walk the streets, and some people nod. And are you going directly there? What does this day hold for you, Coleridge?
Yeah, I'll go as Brother Thomas and walk the streets and kind of keeping my eyes open. Do I know who Lady and Lord Backbrook are?
Yeah.
Would I know that?
You don't know them personally. I think Lord Backbrook you would know. You also know Jezzy, which is essentially their like eldest daughter. She has essentially left the city, but they are one of a few kind of old but noble houses.
Oh, noble. Wonderful. Yeah, I'll make my way to that neighborhood and start asking around if someone could direct me to their residence.
Sure. You come, and as you walk the streets, what's your passive perception?
10.
10, love it. Man after my own heart. Enjoying the day. You see quite a bit.
Fate comes to me, you understand.
Yeah,
Fate
exactly.
comes to Brother Thomas.
What will be, damn you. You see quite a number of things. You see, market stalls set up as they regularly are. You actually pass Esmeralda, give her a short wave. She is quite a knobbish woman, but she gives you a curt nod of the head. And
Save some time for me, Esmeralda.
What?
The herb and the delineation of time.
You see her sort of wave you off. There are some men walking, 3 of them together, tall elven men, long gray robes, deep hoods up despite the fullness of the day. You know them to be refiners, a group. Some would call them a cult, some an organization, but they essentially consider themselves like fragments, almost like the true historians of Lucedahn, those aware of the different epochs and breakings of the world. But there's a bit of a stonemason's vibe as well.
Okay. I kind of clock them a little bit as I go to one of the booths and just watch them for 30 seconds, 45 seconds to see where they're going. In what direction. Just kind of,
Sure.
I don't want to follow them, just notice as I kind of look and smell some of the various fruits.
Yeah. And you take in, some of these fresh melons sort of moving about. And the gnomish man kind of gives you a nod, working behind this back of the stall. But you see the men themselves, these elves, these refiners, kind of lingering. They move through the different stalls, occasionally fingering goods. But give me either an insight or perception check.
That would be a 1.
Respect. You see them. You're tracking them. Their backs are to you. For a time, they interact with the woman selling some of these leather goods before spinning away. And they're still within eyeshot. They're about 80, 90 feet away when the gnomish man interrupts. Anything you'd like to have a full rundown on, I'd be happy to tell you. I grow everything except for those squash, which are grown by my wife.
Well, I'm just admiring it as of now. Perhaps I'll be back later.
Well, I can't promise the squash will be here, but fortune favor you.
And I should just improv it. I'm gonna talk to him a little bit longer. So, your wife, she only does the squash.
Well, she does other things, but
And
for some reason...
You do the turnips and everything else here?
And I bring them in and I sell them, but she has often had a taste for squash. Me, not so much.
What is your wife's name?
She grows it for herself. But it would make both our day if someone bought it. For 4 copper, it's delicious. It's also a root vegetable.
And I'll give him 4 copper for a squash.
Fuck yes. You've just made this guy's day. Well. She will be quite pleased. I like to cut off the sides. Leave it over the fire until you think it's burnt, and then scrape the insides onto whatever you have. Lard works great. Sometimes I roast apples, cut them up, something sweet.
Thank you. This will be lovely.
A pleasure. He tosses it over to you. And you look back, and one of the refiners, only one visible now, you're not sure where the other 2 men are, is leaned extremely close to this stall worker, this sort of keeper. And you see him grab a piece of hair and smell it and put it back.
Smelling the hair of the keeper?
And she's like, what the shit? It's like extremely inappropriate.
Well, I don't think I want to get involved with any refiners today. There's any hair-smelling refiners. I'll continue on to Lady and Lord Backbrooks, and as I'm kind of walking, I mutter to myself, squash, and just trying to kind of get that voice, into my head. I found the voice nice and trusting, so I kind of put it in my, memory storage there.
Yeah. No, I love it. Okay. So you hear this sort of gnomish, kind of staccato man. And as you sort of push away, this woman sort of pushes back. This refiner holds up his hands, puts them underneath his robe, and turns. You see the street's still filling, and I mean, it's not uncommon. I mean, it's a port town, there's a lot of business. But you gather and have heard that there's actually a menagerie in town, sort of a collection of oddities. It's to the eastern side of the actual walls, but you see some people coming back, one of them holding this like extremely gaudy, painted wooden mask Looks almost like a frog, but fiendish. Slanted eyes, enormous kind of grinning horns. But after about 10, 12 minutes, you make your way into the long standing part of town where some of the humble, relatively humble, houses of nobility do sit, amongst them the Backbrooks. You just sort of walking up, knocking on the door?
Yeah, is it labeled? Do I know which one is theirs?
I take it that you sort of ask. Yeah, I mean it's pretty clear. The sigil you don't know, but it's been pointed out to you. It's essentially like a boulder and a chisel.
A boulder and a chisel.
And
Okay.
you do see that over the door.
All right. Yeah, I'll knock.
And you're just about to think about knocking again. When, yes. This ancient-looking high elf woman opens the door. May I help you, sir?
Lady Backbrook. Or
Is she expecting you?
I was sent for, yes.
Her eyes narrow.
Father
Looks you down.
Gershkin asked me to come by. I am Brother Thomas from the Temple of Breakwell.
Brother Thomas. I should have known. Already I feel lighter. I will get the lady, please. Would you?
And you are?
Oh, I am Rapina.
Rapina.
Yes.
And I kind of put both hands in hers.
You feel like a quickening of her pulse.
The gods be good to us both.
They already have, my dear. Tea, wine, water.
He would be lovely. Thank you, Rapina.
She sort of pats the bun and adjusts the sort of petticoat that she's wearing. Shoots you a look as she exits. And it isn't long. It's about 5 minutes. You hear some sort of muffled conversation. A bell is rung.
Okay.
Before coming back and setting down the...
I'm kind of in the foyer area.
Yeah. I could drop it in this map.
Is there anything around? Papers
So you've
of
been...
any sort?
Give me an investigation check.
11.
Cool. Just real quick, let me drop this bad boy down for you. Cool. So it's sort of, open foyer. Those sort of poles hold kind of loose, essentially like fabric work, some silk and some cashmere kind of hanging in, breaking up the space. You sit in there, you do see several dishes, some sort of finger food. There is a large kind of leather-bound book, and you crack it open. It's extremely wide, not particularly deep or thick. And you see it's essentially like a guest book.
Ah, okay. I want to search the guest book.
Sure.
And are there any names? I don't really exactly know what I'm looking for. I guess I'm just kind of thumbing through, not looking for anything particular, but other kind of high-ranking houses of nobility or wealthy merchants.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you've been in town a year. We'll use that 11 for the investigation check. Just give me a history check, if you don't mind. Kind of use that as a reference point.
I switched that out from proficiencies to Arcana, but that's 13.
We both went Arcana. Respect.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
both like, we're not fucking missing lore this game, baby.
Yeah, I know.
I love that. Okay, I'm so sorry. It was another 11?
13.
13, thank you. Cool. So you flip through it. You figure you probably have some time, like minutes. I mean, probably gonna let the tea steep. I mean, you flip through. You do see Goldenfield, which is a pretty wealthy merchant family, and you see it's essentially either the son and father have the same first name, which is Tyranny, which is sort of odd, but they you're not sure if it's sort of the father or the son, but you do see that they were here 2 days prior.
Okay.
They'd come sort of later in the evening.
Later in the evening. All right.
And I'd say within 11 you do see
I
some
know
of their...
them as are they would I know them as human or elfish or
They are dwarves, and
or
they are essentially like a largely the I mean, to hear them tell it, the Golden Fields have other like family lines. You know, one is in Jeebus, one is in or Giebs rather, one is in Kisher. They are a family that's sort of loosely connected by blood, and it's not always really clear, but are often connected by way of port.
I just kind of keep a memory
Here
that
we
name,
are.
that-
Let me help.
And you see she, Rapina comes back in with a tray, and she sets it down. There's 2 teacups, a pot of tea, a covered lid, presumably containing sugar. And then you see her pull out this very thin kind of crystal vial.
I thought I'd spare and bring some brandy as well, just in case. Brother Thomas, the lady will be here shortly.
I'm already here, Rapina. And you see behind you is a very striking-looking elven woman. She's wearing essentially sort of a sachet wrap that's a very, very dark green, but beneath that appears to be essentially what would be considered like a casual singlet. It's almost like she's in a robe and slippers, in sort of the medieval equivalent. But she's still just sort of wearing this. Hair's done, no jewelry.
Rapina, if you wouldn't mind stepping out, the tea will do just fine. I see you brought the brandy. Quite brash of you.
Rapina sort of, I mean, if it's hard to see like an older woman scolded, but she takes it with grace. She nods and exits.
Thank you, Rapina.
So,
Maybe back, Brooke.
She extends a hand to you.
And I cover it with both, looking at her. Thank you for having me in your home.
the honor's mine, Brother Thomas. To hear it told you are a man of immeasurable faith and piety.
I do my best. We're all tested.
Give
I
me
try.
a deception check at advantage, if you don't mind.
Oh, jeez. Same roll, 4, but I got so a 10.
10, cool. I see.
Well, the storm god Raquel is known to be one of the many, or shall we say, perhaps some of the sad few within the Pantheon that still touch the material plane.
Mhm.
Many merchants light a candle in the temple, but it is said you've stayed there over a year, helping those in need, sitting with rich and poor alike. I worry.
What worries you?
Come with me.
She picks up her tea, sort of thinks better of it, sips half of it, sets it down.
I'll leave mine as well.
She walks and opens the door, and as you do, you hear you hear like Rabina trying to sort of exit. The door's open. She's like 8 feet away.
Thank you, Rabina. The tea was lovely, but we are not thirsty.
She walks through essentially the back. There's a very wide circular foyer that goes up to the second floor. Behind that, another sitting room and a hallway that leads past. I'll just go ahead and open it up. Fuck it. But essentially, she leads you here. Boink. Excuse me. Past the steps into a beautifully terraced back garden. You see it twists, and we would describe it as really honestly sort of like a French garden in the sense that it's extremely geometric, a lot of hard angular lines. You see that it's like well-trimmed hedges and bushwork, but sort of behind that are these enormous, tall-stalked, blooming flowers.
Garden takes much care and consideration.
Well, that is kind of you to say. It is a passion of mine. One oddly shared by my mother-in-law, so a point of bonding. Something I value. Are you allowed to take a wife, Brother Thomas?
Allowed? I suppose I would be. If, no storm god doesn't pay too much attention to our lives, would allow me to do whatever. I don't know how. I don't know what good I would be to a wife. I serve the gods. I don't know if I'd be able to give the attention required to keep a woman happy. But time should give in. Perhaps the future, none of us can be certain for what it holds.
That part is undoubtedly true. I don't know about the part about you not being able to make someone happy. But if your god is the jealous type, then I suppose the decision's made for you. A pity, but perhaps the trappings of faith. You see her sort of walking, and occasionally she'll point out flowers to you.
Well, there are no pathways without their thorns.
Thorns. She leads you sort of past. You see behind this garden is a towering glass greenhouse, within which are this popping kaleidoscope of pastels. Pinks and blues, light greens, sort of mossy browns, and electric purples. You know, Baedric's father, Brayman Backbrook, he made his first coin, casting blossoms from the widow bloom. She sort of gestures to the greenhouse. Even now, some of them have been kept, though it's said their fey magic has waned. Do you know of the widow bloom? Have you heard of it?
Have I?
No.
I don't know. No? Sorry. I believe this knowledge has escaped me. Please, tell me.
The widow blooms, they come with the rising and lowering of the tides. It's said that the tide forest to the east has already begun to swell, if sailors can be believed. But, well, I don't know how it happens, but occasionally when the forest moves beneath it, and in the meadows surrounding, are flowers said to push up from the fair realm and bloom here in the material. When my husband's great-grandfather, Braymond, was there, he was just a first mate on a merchant vessel, lucky enough to see the blossoms. Fortune blessed him, and his fingers seemed to spin gold after that.
You have some here, is what you say?
Well,
Jeez.
of the same lineage, but their magic has waned. But it is said that again the tide forest moves, which bespeaks the coming of another widow bloom. My husband, Baedric Backbrook, is obsessed with it. He wants very much, perhaps, to move forward in his great-grandfather's name, or perhaps something else, I don't know, but I fear that leaving now, so much in flux, I can hardly explain it, Brother Thomas. I'm not a religious or auspicious woman, but something feels wrong. I fear if he travels, he will die. I've been having
terrible dreams. They haunt me. I can't seem to rid myself of them.
If
Here,
and I kind of pause and I kind of put my part of my silence, and I can tell you what I believe, but I don't know if that will offer you any comfort. I don't know if there's any comfort to be had. But misfortune is always on the horizon, no matter if you stay or go. Some things are just out of our control, which is a difficult, needless to say, a difficult thing. But I worship the storms, right? Rakewell, he spreads seeds, but he is violent and turbulent, brings life, but causes pain.
I suppose it's the way of the world.
Yes.
Pleasure and pain often riding on the same coin.
These dreams you're having, have you ever had dreams before that have turned to be prophetic?
You see her face sort of grow a milky white before color returns to it. I had a dream that my eldest, Jezzy, I saw her walking amongst figures of stone, as if they themselves had been carved and then animated. It was 6 weeks later, 7, that she made way for Gibbs, hoping to take up with the stonemason there, rear a statue worthy of being spared the barbarians. I don't know if they're connected, but she'd never even mentioned stonework or artisan or apprenticeship, anything of that like. And likewise, shortly after these dreams, my husband spent more time here, in this greenhouse, in this garden. It wasn't after that over his cups at night he would speak to me in increasingly feverish terms about selling some of what we had, or letting go of the eastern fields, buying another ship to try to sail northeast, see if he can capture this widow bloom for himself. I don't know, perhaps we could pray. Perhaps you could simply pray over this space, what's left of his lineage, the magic that built it.
I'm always honored to give service to the gods. I do not pray for results. I will just pray for good guidance. I'm sure it will find you and find your husband. And look where it's brought you so far.
Yes, you're right. There is much to be thankful for. Well,
I'm going to cast Minor Illusion.
sick.
And I'm going to have the sound of like a glass or something breaking right outside the greenhouse, like a teacup breaking. Kind of with it.
Oh my.
As she turns, I want to take a, if she's distracted, I would like to take one of the flowers of the imitation wither blooms.
Yeah, please. So,
Stuff.
give me a sleight of hand check at advantage. She does look over. Rabina has been eavesdropping again, I'm sure. She walks past you, Coleridge, and attempts to sort of poke her head out. I mean, she can see this whole thing is glass.
24.
Amazing. So you pull this beautiful, like, burnt orange, this, like, sunrise orange. It looks almost like a lily, but there's 6 petals instead of the typical 4. And As you pull it off, give me an Arcana check.
12.
Cool. So as you reach for it, pull it off, you feel this similar rush that you do when you simply will an illusion to be. There's an awareness within you, Coleridge, that yes, this is magic, certainly. But you haven't really fully worked it out. I mean, you can do certain things. The how and the why of it is increasingly paradoxical. But as with that 12, it's hard to really center it. But you feel and then hear, and this coldness shifts across the plant. Some of them actually seem to retract and curl in. You see a group of crimson petals that fade to more of a lighter pink, losing some of their blushing bloom.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Give me a perception check.
Uh,
Give me a perception check.
18.
My fucking god, what is that? You see, and it takes a moment, you see like at the feet beneath this enormous topiary in the center, this strange, almost like brackish, like mossy yellow substance that's like flowing slowly. It looks almost like it's a liquid or an oil. Is that leaving when you see it tighten and contract? And I need you to roll initiative, Coleridge. As the center of this sort of topiary piece snaps and gathers and starts to lunge at Lady Backbrook.
At Lady Backbrook?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness. 6.
Okay.
My sleight of hand was good.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Okay, so we have a 6 for my girl. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh my gosh. Let me just jot it down. And my boy Coleridge will be the caboose. Okay. Brief moment. I just need to check something. Don't want to goof this up.
Okay.
Nothing is tenser than level 1 combat, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the gathering storm. Okay. Okay, sweet. So you see this thing coming down, and it just lunges at Lady Back.
Jesus.
Oh. It just fucking hits. You see it pop outward. Holy shit. Oh, man. Max damage.
Oh, God. Lady Backbrook.
That is...
Live so long.
That is 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And
Okay.
she's going to have to make a Constitution saving throw. Oh, which she fails. She takes an additional 2 points. Wow.
Okay. Well, that's not good.
That is not good at all. She oh Lord! Ah! Help me! Rapina! And she is like almost prone. This thing has sort of lunged out and caught her essentially by like the ankle. She's pulling it out, but you see there's like this caustic imprint where she's been touched. She in turn is going to sort of try to like flail and kick out at this thing. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Natural 19.
Okay.
And she's going to deal it a whopping 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Oh Lord! She kicks it. It's almost like the foot briefly contracts. She's like, no. She pulls it out, but her shoe remains in. Oh no! She's not being consumed, but this thing is like fighting an enormous blob of acidic jello.
Oh, God. All right.
But that is going to be her turn. Coleridge, it is your turn.
Okay. Is she kind of mixed up and attached to this thing?
It is not technically grappling her, no. But it is on her ass.
Okay, I'm gonna try to kind of stay as far away as I can, but as I kind of the doors are in the south of the map, right?
Correct.
So I'm gonna try to just kind of grab a hold of her while kind of screaming out, guards, anyone, help! The plant's attacking! And I'm gonna try to grab her and pull her out of there.
Sure. Okay, so you run over 5, 10, 15, 20. You're gonna essentially try to rip her out, okay, and grab her. Okay, great. Yeah, give me a contested strength check against this jelly.
Oh, he is holding on to her?
No, but I mean, are you he's not technically grappling her, but what are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to
I'm trying to pull her away from it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think she would allow that. 5, 10, 15. You can pull her at half movement, which would give you 7 feet if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just to get under there.
Okay. So you start pulling her this way. Got it. Okay.
And
sick.
just kind of calling out. Is that my action? Yeah.
It would be to grab and drag. Yes. You have a bonus action if you want.
I will. Just in case.
Uh-oh. I see the wheels turning.
I don't think I can. I don't know if I can. Can I? This isn't a creature, or I guess it is a creature. Never thought about this. And my brain of how things were gonna go, I didn't expect fighting the lichen. or
Bro, I'm a fucking wild card, Brian. Buckle up,
I know,
dude. You don't know?
Yeah, alright. I'll hex it.
Let's fucking go. Time to hex the fucking ooze. Okay. What is that? Charisma?
No, it just happens.
Oh, sick. Okay. You grab onto this thing. You're not sure if it even has a pulse. It does seem like it is more plant than creature. Okay, the hex happens with the bonus action. It is now the jelly's turn. She's gonna slurp up and try to get there. Ooh, just misses. Comes in, lunges towards Lady Backbrook, and misses.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's her turn. Please help me, Rabina! Help!
Is that the lady? What is going on?
Oh. You see just at the edge here, Rabina sort of rolled up and can see, and it's like, holy smokes, God! You notice it's singular, God! And she's sort of yelling backwards. But again, the high lady, or excuse me, Lady Backbrook, misses. Wait. No, it does miss. It connects, but she's worried about losing her foot now and pulls it back. Doesn't do any damage. It's your turn again. So you have Lady Backbrook sort of half crooked. She is technically kind of upright now, but you're both sort of right there, and this jelly is, basically right next to both of you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to pull her out of the greenhouse.
Okay. Cool. Half movement. 5, 10, 15. Got it.
And then kind of turn her to where she can't see, and I'm just gonna say, "Be gone, devil!" and shoot a little force damage at it.
Let's fucking go. Unbelievable. You see brother Thomas. Oh, please, recoil, save us! And you, roll the hit.
Alright, hope no one sees it. Let me see. 23.
Definitely hits. Describe what this moment looks like, Coleridge.
Do I notice? I really hope that they're not looking at me as I kind of push her away.
Yeah, she is in front of you and is absolutely, for lack of a better word, shitting herself. She's terrified.
and I kind of want to turn her body so it's like if she's like in front of me like here, you know, I kind of want to turn her so she's looking that way.
Okay,
you know,
cool.
Call for the guard as well as I send this kind of pulse out.
I think given the situation, that is definitely doable.
Okay, and when that happens, I think that this like little bit of a smile comes on my face as I shoot out this force energy.
Fuck yeah, roll damage on it.
It's gonna be with the hex 10.
Ooh, let's get it. Okay. Fuck yeah. Okay.
Oh, and it has a disadvantage on strength contests.
Checks. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, strength checks.
Yeah. It's really not known for any of its stats, but not particularly weak. So you're dragging her out. Robina's over here. The absolutely hits. You sort of spin her around to the other side. Robina, where is Tyrus? Where the fuck is he? Oh Lord! And you see, as she's sort of hyperventilating, you like pulse into this thing, and it like, it splits it, essentially donuts it. Like doesn't like split it in half, but like tunnels it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it goes back, but it's like less. Part of it is splattered back into the actual plants behind it. It looks like part of it, like a third of it, was blown off, like flung away. But it is now its turn. I will say that at this point, coming! What the hell's going on? There is a guard that you can see. Someone that's like running has come around to the side of the house, essentially, and is making their way over. But this ooze...
I want to look like I'm protecting Lady Backbrook.
You know what? It's going to dash and goes almost sort of past you, like now sort of like in almost like trying to get in both. It's going to use 20 feet of movement and go over there. But that's going to be its turn. Lady Backbrook is going to actually pull out this snuffer box and just... And she's gonna regain 3 hit points. Oh my god! You see, she's like absolutely like there's like a smolder. You smell the burning of the acid damage on her left foot. But that's her turn, and it is your turn again, Coleridge. This thing has like come around you. You feel like the worst is over, but it's still not completely out of the clear.
Okay, all right. I take out a dagger, which I have kind of like, it's more like a knife, you know, like a woodsman's knife or something like that.
Cool.
And I'll try to slice across the ooze in front of her.
Okay. Fuck yeah. Roll the hit.
Ooh. That would be a natural 2 for a 5.
A 5. Damn. 5.
No, for a 7. 7.
Oof. 7 just misses.
Just misses.
You like slash out, and as you do, you sort of like start to see some of it like gather, like slide off, and you pull the knife away. Okay. You got it hexed. Are you trying to move?
There's a guard there, yeah?
You can see the guard. Oh, sorry, super small. He's in like the corner here. He's probably about 20-25 feet away.
Yeah, I just try to put myself between Lady Rafina and the ooze.
Okay.
The jelly.
So again, you sort of like really like step through, sort of pushing her backwards, out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Cool. Absolutely love that. So it's going to be the guard's turn. You see him just sort of flash forward with this halberd. Fuck yeah, and absolutely pierce it with a 19. However, yeah, it does deal... Well, actually, no. Okay, so as he sort of... he swings the halberd through and just... splits the jelly in half.
Okay.
There are now 2 jellies
2 jellies.
on either side of it.
Okay. All right.
He's like, fuck! Ah, fuck! You see him sort of like, and there's a part of you maybe that's like, only 1 attack? He's like, ah. He sort of starts pulling back to like butt at it with the blunt end of his halberd. But that is his turn. Rabina is just yelling, in the name of the Dawnfather, I beg of you, take and save this poor woman and save this handsome man. And that is going to be her turn, effectually doing nothing. And it's now this jelly. One of them is going to, both of them with you guys sort of having moved in, particularly you can tell with them sort of having, sort of plucked this flower and sort of felt this surge of lightning. Of course. It's a natural 20.
Okay.
To you, Coleridge.
All right.
So, we will roll it up. Okay. Wow. That is a 3. Double to a 6.
Okay. I'm up.
However,
Yeah.
you have to make a con save.
That's not good for me. 11.
11.
No, 12.
Okay. You save, taking
Okay.
no additional acid damage. But you feel it sort of, slap onto you. This other one is, just goes and just like narrowly. What's your armor class? 14, right?
That's with leather armor. I'm not wearing any right now. 10.
It's 10. Oh my god. Okay. So yes, well, I guess technically this would be hitting Lady Rabina because it's been split in 2, but fuck. Okay. So that first one, the first one was a natural 20, so it wouldn't have even mattered. Okay. God damn it, dude. Of course. I mean, that's, yeah. The second one hits Lady Rabina for a fucking 6. You see her, ah! She slumps into you.
Okay.
And yes. So she's making death saves. It is your turn, Coleridge. These things have split at your feet. They're both smaller, more manageable, but like you've heard this and you now feel the full weight of an unconscious body. I mean, she has been hit now twice in the extremities, in these very venous parts of her legs, by this acidic kind of slap.
Damn. I'm wondering if I can, I should know this considering I'm a dungeon master, but I've never done, like, dual handing.
Yeah?
But I think if I have 2 daggers, I can attack and bonus action, but I just don't get proficiency with the offhand, right?
That is correct. Yeah. You don't get to add proficiency to the attack roll.
Okay. Yeah.
But you do get to add the
Dex.
either dex or strength, yeah.
Okay, so I'll do it with 2 daggers now. I'll slice the one I have hexed. I assume the hex went to one of them.
Yes. No.
hex
It's
went-
the same creature, but split.
Okay,
So they're both hexed, yeah.
Alright, so with my good hand, I'm gonna try to get the guy to get one of them, like pin him down, like with the dagger
Awesome.
in the right hand.
Awesome.
18 plus 5, so 23.
Absolutely.
Oh, D4.
Grab the old pyramid.
Yeah. A good one. Alright. Okay. So 3 dagger plus 1 hex plus 3, so 7 points of damage.
Fuck yeah. So, you slash it, one of the smaller ones. You just seen this halberd slash and split it.
Mm-hmm.
However, because it is beneath 10 hit points, and also only at 5, you split it, and it instead of pulling back together, it tries briefly like a magnet to fall apart before it sort of begins to stale and brittle and turn to almost this like flat liquid upon the stone beneath.
Okay. And then I'm gonna try with my offhand to attack the other one.
Fuck yeah. Make it up. Just straight D20 roll.
19, so plus 3.
Yes,
20.
let's go, absolutely.
All right, and the hex, it's still hex.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because it was one creature.
And I still add my dexterity to this. Okay, so 8.
8, let's fucking go. Hex doing the deal. You twist both up as this guy's like, "Ugh!" And he comes down with this halberd just as you hit. He's like, oh, fuck. That was, oh no, Lady Backbrook.
You have a potion.
At this
You
point,
have a potion somewhere in the house.
he's like yelling to Rabina. He's like, get the fuck in here. But you guys are out
Find
of...
the potion now. Find something.
I know,
Get a
I
healer.
know, the lady, oh lord. The ooze is sort of like becoming viscous. Out of my way. You see her sort of like patting you, sort of moving past you, her hands like moving from your shoulders to your neck, to your torso. Please, please move. Like way too much contact than is necessary. But she moves over around the side and makes it to Lady Backbrook and pulls out from beneath her necklace and opens the sniffer. And again, please, Lady Backbrook, please. Sort of patting the head.
I was wondering does Lady Backbrook have the snuff in her hand still?
Yeah, well, Rabina does and is sort of holding it up to her.
Oh, she took it out of Lady Backbrook's hand and did it? Okay.
Yes, it's from a necklace around her neck, but yeah.
Okay, I was gonna try to steal it. All right, cool.
Oh,
cool,
yeah, I
cool.
mean, you still can.
Yeah,
You still definitely can.
They're all here and they're using it, then it's all good.
Yeah,
I
no.
was
It's 100%. That's like the first thing she's going for. She does
Okay,
regain
great.
another 3 hit points.
Okay, great.
My God, what happened? Sit still. My hero. You saved my life. Help me up,
Oh.
please.
It was your guard. It was your guard and the guns.
Oh, well, Tylus, I do appreciate you rushing in. I remember you making haste but not actually being here. Well, I was here. I was absolutely here. I was running as quickly as I could. Well, that will reflect in your quarterly, won't it? Father, Brother Thomas, thank you. Rabina, go. Run to the quarries or run to the docks. Find my husband. Find the Lord. And bring him here. Bring Brayman as quickly as you can. You see, of course, Lady Backbrook, I will. She starts to turn and is swinging her arms, like heading out, but is moving at like 2 miles an hour. Come to think of it, Tylus, you go. Rabina, stay here. We might want for some tea. Tylus, can you please just run? Make haste.
Before you go, Tylus, can you check the tree there for any more of those jellies with that long, sharp stick of yours?
Well, I think that's wise. I should make sure that it's safe for the lady. Of course, you don't hire me just to be loafing about. He sort of comes around, and you see him sort of, moving through, kind of bashing this thing. And give me either a nature or arcana check, if you don't mind. Coleridge.
Okay, and as that's happening, I want to move the hex onto Lady Backbrook.
Amazing. So there's no save. It just happens.
It just happens, and they don't know it happens.
Sick.
And I want to give her disadvantage on charisma checks.
Sick.
Or no, on wisdom checks. Sorry.
On wisdom? Okay, cool.
So insight perception. I got a 5 on the perception. Oh, arcana, I would get a 7.
7, cool. You look, and I think your pulse is still, you're just looking for movement more than anything else. There's sort of a need to be like, shit, are they... What's going on? Like, are they here? Is it still more? You do, however, I would say briefly notice, you don't see any movement. And by this time, minute 2, Tylus has made his way around. Feel pretty good about that. I don't think there's necessarily anything there, but I'm just embarrassed that it even came to that. The lady falling unconscious, it should never... Agreed, it should never happen. But I would say you notice the colors, the vibrancy, in your estimation, might just be, again, the adrenaline,
has returned. Well, it shan't happen again. Well, I'll run as quick as I can. I'll send Oscar. I'll send someone else to stay here at the greenhouse. Make sure it won't be a problem. If anything, I think it's that cursed menagerie. You know they bring tricks with them, some sort of ill magic. Maybe they, I don't know, had an effect on the plants. Yes, maybe they did, Tylus. Run and find my husband, Raymond. Yeah, lady. He sort of, fingers, knuckles his forehead and departs. Well, that was quite a bit more than I bargained for. She puts a hand on yours. I meant that when I said I owed you my life. You saved it. I don't know what would have happened if I was here alone.
Has that ever happened before?
No, oh gods no. It's never been anything we've ever come across. Some sort of attack in the greenhouse that's completely unheard of.
Maybe there was something to your dreams. Yeah, let's get you somewhere comfortable and lay down. Take a nap.
You see both of them, truly, there's a... It's that same vibe, like whenever you run into, sort of the living room and all your mom and her friends are there, and she tells them how you just, got second place at the science fair or something really dope. And it's that sort of like basking warmth, this sort of like awe, equal parts awe and approval that's certainly coming from Plythe, from Lady Backbrook, but also from Rabina, who already was quite taken, but she sort of, you see her sort of give you a look like, whoa. And she sort of leads the way again super slowly, forcing you guys to walk even fucking slower. But she does lead you guys back inside. And as you make your way back inside, let me adjust this real quick. She leads you now to a larger sitting room. You see in the center is this like beautiful kind of kiln, a sort of stone kiln that appears to be either a place, certainly of heat, but where like a lot of ceramics and crafting. There's a lot of stuff on these tables and around these walls that bespeak that clay work, speckles, very specific hooks, stuff to sort of score and connect clay.
What is it? You're a potter.
Yes,
an artist.
The bloom has made its way and felt across much of what we do as Backbrooks. I want you to look and take one of these. She points, she gestures, and there's any number of there's full-on vases, large bowls, cups. But there's also these really intricately, very narrow-looking, stoppered. Some of them look almost like vials. Some of them look almost like sort of tear-shaped flasks. Many of them are twisting in a way that almost tricks the eye. There's sort of a converging of lines and edges. It's hard for you to exactly see in some cases where the end of something begins and the start of something initiates.
I cannot. And also I kind of grab a hold of wherever the wounds were, because I'm not looking great. But I say, there's nothing that I need that the temple doesn't provide. If you and your husband would like to.
No, Thomas, please. Even if it is just to have a memory of us sitting somewhere within the hearth of the Temple of Rickwow, I beg of you, I could not sleep tonight if I thought I had let you leave empty-handed. Please, as a matter of honor, I must insist. This one, for example, this one for a time will make you heartier. Will give you some health, perhaps I don't know, some strength against situations like we just faced. And this one right here, this one makes you move like the wind. And she picks another one up that looks almost like triangular. And as she picks it up, there's this boom, boom. Like there's this strange shifting within. I don't quite remember what this does. But my son, Pacitus, apple of my eye, he has a way with tinctures, alchemy. It is a blessing. But if it can in any way help you, I would beg of you to take it with, please.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. All right.
There is, in essence,
Father Gershkin. He's not getting along, not moving about very quickly these days. Perhaps I'll take the speed one. Maybe this will give some youth back into his...
Is that the secret to your connection? That giving away somehow returns in folds? She sort of looks around this opulent, one of the richest houses in this town. Please, and sort of a fervor almost comes over her. Would you...
There's a great deal of responsibility to have all these things to look after. I'm just a man in a robe. And look, within an hour of meeting your acquaintance, look how difficult it is to look after you. I kind of pat her on the shoulder.
It is a moment of like you feel her almost like the hair rise up. Well, and as she sort of like, you're not really sure, it's definitely like a moment, it's a beat, when you hear the front doors open. Come on this way, sir. He was here, looking around, repeating, they're in the kiln room, master. And you see sweeping in a long kind of chestnut hair, what appears to be sort of pockmarked but still handsome, a very sort of triangular and broad-chested elven man. So is this the man I have to thank for sparing my wife?
Thank the man that also brought you in. I happened to be... Well, we happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Funny plants you have growing in your garden.
Yes, that seems like the wrong place was my very backyard. That's certainly not how things should be. How are you, love? He comes and sort of swoops over to her, kisses on both cheeks. I'm well, Bremen, thank you. This is Brother Thomas. He has taken up at the temple to Raquel. Well, he's known as a bit of a miracle worker, as I have found out myself. Well, that is quite impressive, Brother Thomas. How can I repay the saving of my blood, of the jewel of my eye? Name it and it shall be yours.
Well, I've already been forced to take this potion that I will give to Father Gershkin. But anything you do not need that could go to the temple would always be appreciated, but never back.
Tylus, go upstairs and fetch for me out of the silver-bound chest. Bring me 2 of the greybacks. Tylus sort of again knuckles the edge of his forehead and disappears, heading upstairs. So, I haven't heard of you. I'm curious. Do you have any experience as a wind worker? I've heard that some of the men brought aboard some of these vessels at sea. They bring about some practitioners. I'm not sure if you're that type of holy man. Can you make the wind bend to your beck?
Oh. No, I let the wind just do what it pleases. I honor Raquel, the storm god, and would not presume to try to control it.
Well, surely you must bend the storm god's ear to find a way to uncover these miracles.
I try to listen to his voice, and that is all. But I wish you good luck on your endeavor. I'm sure you'll find someone very powerful to help you along.
He's been pulling off these very sort of pale buckskin gloves, which he tucks behind a wide and well-made leather belt. The buckle gold, the nicks non-existent. A man of significant wealth.
Your wife has been telling me before we were so rudely interrupted that you were journeying north, past Talbot's Pass, perhaps, into the Tide Forest.
Lover, Blythe, I don't want potentially valuable secrets making their way upon the streets of Ukalahn, but yes, there's word that the widow's bloom is forthcoming, and that the Tide Forest has moved. I'm not considering, I have. I've purchased a second raker that, and at this you hear Blythe like, oh, no, you cannot. Please, Brayman, tell me. I have. It's already done, love. And I intend to sail, I was hoping to leave port before the end of the week. With any fortune, I'll be through Talbot's Pass, potentially stop there and, up my wares, but make way all the way, to the Kingdom of Falls, to Pirespun, rather. I don't know if I'll make it all the way, but, it's a merchant ship, so we'll see where the wind takes us. I mean, it's all the way to the edge of the Widow Bloom. I'll be damned if I don't go seeking the same fortune that my great-grandfather made his wealth from. It's said that the petals there can make one akin to a god. Not that I seek that for myself, but, I'm curious.
Seems like an awful lot of responsibility into a god.
So, I know we've just met, but if my wife is to be believed, I could use someone looking over my shoulder. If it's worth your while, I'll pay you handsomely. 150 gold pieces up front, 150 in Pirespun, and another 50 if you're looking to make it all the way back to Ukalahn.
I'm kind of shocked. My power with the Storm God is I follow subjugation. I submit to his will. I cannot control his. But our temple is in desperate need. If you would like me, it makes you feel more comfortable.
Oh, I would. I mean, they say the only thing that can stop a good shipping investment is a storm. I would need nothing more than that. You subjugating yourself to your god, and hopefully us not being subjugated by him. So good. That sounds like it could be quite good. You see, Backbook Lady Blythe is like, oh no, Brayman, I told you, I felt the same way before I saw Jesse make way for Gibbs. Although I would feel much better where you go then, brother. I suppose, and at this point, Rabina, I made some biscuits and heated them up for you, my lord. She looks and gives you another kind of cheeky wink and sort of pokes her way, setting it on this kiln, which is not, currently active. Oh, thank you, Rabina. I was a bit peckish. You see him sort of reach down and rip open the top of this, extremely fragrant and soft-looking scone. Yeah. Fantastic. I do have half a mind. And there's a part of you, Coleridge, that's like, good God, why do the richest people always have the worst manners? I had half a mind to take on people and, I don't know, see if perhaps we couldn't find something here, perhaps in the Plenty or south in the Diamond Wastes, to take with us before we leave. But perhaps that's a question to float upon my merchant's ears. Let me ask you, Brother Thomas, other than coin for the rectory and the good faith and prospering of your god, is there anything you want for?
Well, from time to time, my wants vary. If I am to come with you, I would need to get permission from Father Gushki. Here, would you mind recording your request? And I pull out the paper with the shopping list on it.
Fuck yeah. Now, normally this might require a persuasion or deception check, but I think given the circumstances...
Of course. What shall I say? Something along the lines of, Brother Thomas, if amenable, is requested leaving port this upcoming Sunday, etc., etc. Very well. Rabina sort of brings him, sand and a quill pen and an ink, which he undoes very carefully, flourishes it.
I would not presume, and
Well,
you certainly do not have to ask permission. Well, that
I
is not
would
the
be
way of the lords.
absolutely honored to have you there. And you see him sign with this big, huge B for Braymond, and then sort of beneath it, he uses that same B for Backbrook.
Well, if he agrees, and the winds favor, we shall journey.
Good. I tell you, love, I was already feeling quite good about this, your moody dreams aside. But now I feel positively jazzed. All right.
Lady Backbrook, I'm curious to, if this new fortune will change your dreams, please do let me know.
I will come to Temple. I will see you sometime before you leave. Again, thank you. And though it's technically out of charges, you see her again sort of pull on the sniffer box. She looks, Surely we have something that can aid him, can we not? Yes. I see you're wounded. Tylus! You see at this point, Tylus has sort of come back down, carrying these 2 grey bags. He sort of pokes his head in. Leave the bags, Tylus. I want you to go inside my cupboard next to the wash basin and bring me one of the emerald green vials. Yes.
Please do not trouble.
He goes over. Oh, please, it's not trouble in the slightest. Puts this down. I wish my son had as much gall as you, but unfortunately, he does not. He loves making little pots, cute little things, and rarely leaving. Although, where the fuck is he? Where is Basidus? Do you know? I hadn't seen him. He probably was out somewhere looking for your favor, husband. Oh, that's quite good. At this point, Tyler sort of comes back in and is holding it. This one. Yes, hand it here. Takes it, uncorks it, and hands you a very minty smelling vial. Drink that.
Eric will favor us all. And I drink it back.
You regain 6 hit points.
I'm back, baby!
And Coleridge is back, baby.
God.
And the afternoon spills on. You see the Backbrooks sort of moving through kind of the rest of their day. It isn't too long before you see pretty handsome, youngish-looking elven young man, who you presume to be Basius, but he comes in and sort of nods and is immediately kind of caught by the shoulder by his father before heading back outside. But what are your plans, Coleridge?
Well, do I get these 2 bags from...
Yeah, no, for sure. They
And
contain
then,
50 gold pieces each.
Oh my god. Alright, and then I will, I need to excuse myself to the kitchens, you see, they need restocking.
Oh. Well, we do what you must. I will I will see you, hopefully sometime before Sunday. But if not, it's on the docks, leaving early. And
Name of the ship. Name of the ship. Again.
One more time?
Oh, at some point, if you could send word for the name of the ship.
Oh, the Maiden's Moor. Yes.
Sorry, I keep asking you all these
No.
questions.
No, that's a good thought. They'll know me. Just ask for Lord Backbrook. But yes, the Maiden's Misery was my great-grandfather's ship, and then the Maiden's Mishap was my father's. But I like the Maiden's more because it sort of broke the tradition of awful things being associated with maidens. So, but yes, I'll see you then. And his wife is essentially, stays seated. And I myself will come by the Temple of Raquel before that. I will keep you in my prayers, of which I will now begin. You seem like you're not a. You see, this sort of is somewhat off-putting to Lord Backbrook, but they give you your leave. You spill back into the northwestern rather, side of the city, or the village of Ukalahn. And yeah, you make your way to market. It's located essentially like here. So it's a good, solid 15, 20 minutes. Got to make it to the other side of the Ren Fair. Or it's probably more like 35 at this point.
No good way.
There really isn't. Your feet hurt. The sun is blistering.
I'm just gonna get what's on the list. The 2 scallops, the thyme. And before I left, I wanted to give Rabina the squash.
Ooh, cool.
And
How did you know that I love squash?
This is from the greatest squash grower.
No.
All the plenty.
If I were but a decade younger, would be darkening that temple door. And not to pray. She takes the squash, and you're like, what? And she immediately pivots and starts to kind of shimmy away.
You wouldn't be the first to be seduced by the gods.
Yo, high elves, man.
Under my breath, but in a different kind of tone. And then, I'll go to the market. I'll grab these things, kind of hoping to hide these huge bags of gold under my robes as much as possible.
Sure. Give me a survival check or a sleight of hand check.
All right, sleight of hand better. 21.
Cool. You took them away. You're sort of mindful of your posture in such a way to kind of keep a billow in the back. Your robes don't really break over the purse in any way, shape, or fashion. You feel pretty secure about it.
Yeah.
As you're sort of in the market and wrapping this up, mark a silver and 3 copper.
Oh, that's it. That's everything. All right.
And you see essentially like a family coming back in, and you overhear them.
Mummy, was it real? Was it real what they were saying about the man in the box?
Well, no, I don't really know. I mean, that's sort of the magic of these types of shows, Marge. We never quite know, and it seemed real to me.
Yeah, well, it seemed like no one could maybe live in a box like that. That's why I asked. I found it kind of spooky.
And they're walking by, and you're kind of like, man, wild. Maybe you draw your own conclusions. The father seems pretty, kind of exhausted, classic Norman Rockwell painting. And the youngish boy.
This is the menagerie they're talking about, yeah?
You presume, you presume. And that's sort of what you've heard, is sort of snippets, sort of oddities.
Okay.
But at least this family seems quite taken.
If there's any kind of flyers or anything for performances that would be more of the late night variety.
Sure.
I would just take note.
And you go to essentially what is kind of the center guild hall, very close to this area within the market on the sort of northeastern side. You do see sort of put up. It's called Mephiphisophiles
says Menagerie. And you can see that it's like, you're not sure if it's a bit, like if this was a joke specifically, but they have like written and crossed out, like they've misspelled Mephistopheles a bunch of times. And then sort of gone with something else, like Mephiphisophiles, which is not quite what the name is. But anyway, it's a menagerie. You do see it's essentially one and all, family affair. You see no families welcome after 9. Which is, pretty specific. It does appear to be advertising quite a bit of sort of weird stuff. There's a fire breather. There's a strong man. There's a picture of like some weird frogs and some like almost like pointed kind of masked things. And then there's one that looks like... Give me a history check.
16.
16, cool. So there's an area, pretty far away. I mean, like you're talking about, sailing in a ship even a farther distance, but an area known as the Melted Heart, that is a particularly treacherous sort of area of this western flung stretch of the Frozen Wind Mountains, and there's a lot of sort of rumor associated with it, like in sort of origin lore. This was kind of an area where some of the giants that quote unquote built the world rested and waited for their companions. They waited so long and in such vain that eventually they died of a frozen heart. And that these mountains were sort of the melting, the breaking down of this misery and agony. But associated with that has also been the assumption of like deep veins of minerals.
Right.
And I bring that up because sort of like in that same vein, it's almost like looking at like a hieroglyph. Like you might not necessarily interpret it, but you would associate it with a certain period of Egypt's history. In a similar fashion, you see sort of this outline of what appears to be like a human figure, outlined by steepled like mountains or peaks, holding some sort of scepter or rod. That's also on the flyer.
Okay. I'll take that flyer.
Hey, I was gonna look at that.
Oh.
No, totally joking.
This will get you in trouble. These are false idols and not of the gods.
I just wanted to go see Mephiphisophiles. Please, let me see it real quick. It's this older kind of halfling man, extremely nearsighted. He kind of leans in. Oh, no, too spooky for me. And he sort of heads off, starts shuffling back towards the port itself.
And your best judgment is ring forth. I'll head back to the temple.
I'm so sorry, you're heading where?
I'll head back to the temple.
Cool. So you head back. There is another woman by the name of Leanne, who also sort of stays in the temple. She is really, really sweet. I mean, she's like, I guess a clergy woman, but she's more like someone that I think just has a lot of love for Gershk, and kind of likes kind of helping him look after. She definitely participates in the ceremony. She bows her head when she prays. But there's always been a part of you, I would say, Coleridge, that not necessarily feels suspected by her, but suspects of her that she perhaps maybe shares some of your religious indifference. If that's fair to paint it. I don't mean to, paint your character unfairly or inaccurately.
I think that would be exact. Yeah. Okay. So, but she's there.
Yes, Leanne is there. These sort of wide, long skirts, short apron. This kind of salt and pepper hair that's normally kind of in a bun is actually loose flowing. And you see she's essentially sweeping up. She's in the kitchen itself.
The gods are good, Leanne. I have 4 scallops for the price of 2.
Well, are you not worried that they are bad scallops?
I smelled them.
Let Leanne smell.
So you sort of go over and
You struck a good deal. Father Gershk, he is, I guess, in prayer or continues to sleep, because I have not seen.
You see her, she's sort of like sweeping in and looking back at you. There are some areas where occasionally people will come in and leave small gifts. Sometimes it's just as simple as like carved trinkets, figurines, or totems that are meant to be representatives of maybe loved ones that are going off to sea, or perhaps in memoriam of someone that died at sea. And you see placed in this area, kind of in the kind of first sort of courtyard outside this temple, you see a small carved figure that looks remarkably similar to the figure that you saw holding a staff with two sort of ridged peaks behind it.
Okay. On the flyer that I took, yeah?
Correct, yeah. But this is, carved from some really soft wood, and it's not particularly intricate, but the angulation of the face, the holding of the scepter, but perhaps it's just sort of the freshness of seeing this other iconography that's bleeding into this moment. Unclear.
I'll leave it and take note. Then I'm gonna go to my room. I assume there's a private room in the temple. And I'll hide the bags of gold to be taken to my official hiding spot later.
Okay. Where are you hiding them?
Now, under the bed.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
There's some stuff. I keep some other things down in the tombs, but I'll be there later.
Cool.
I'm not gonna go there now. But I just want to smell that flower.
I'd say give me just one more Arcana check if you don't mind.
9.
Yeah, you it's extremely fragrant. I mean, like that sort of lily, that bouquetness, but there is also like a ripeness, moving towards like almost too much, but it's in the same way that sometimes potpourris can be such a deep blend of like nuanced, like olfactory stimulation that sometimes it can be hard to get it all. And this is similar, which is really surprising from one single petal that's already been picked.
Yeah.
But with the 9, that's all you get.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's, it's about 30 minutes past dark, I would say. Sort of running the errands, kind of coming back down. It's probably around, 7:30.
I kind of go and I have a bit of food and I'm seen and explain. I wake Father Gershki up again for dinner.
Oh Lord.
There's a bit of a breeze. I think it put your candle up.
Yeah.
Let us eat.
Well, it stirred my hunger. He gives you his hand and sort of pulls up. And how was the afternoon? Did you get the onion?
Yes, the onion.
Thank the God. Okay.
And so I received a little gold for
No, from Lady
satisfying
Backbrook.
Lady Backbrook's soul. She's
She
quite
gave you
concerned.
gold.
4 pieces.
Aye. Raquel be praised, let the wave of abundance crash over us. 4 pieces of gold. That's too much.
I denied it quite often, but
Well,
at some point it becomes rude.
no, it's... I understand. Well, it is a blessing. Here,
He puts out his palm.
I'll put it in the tithe, and worst comes to worst, there'll be more for those in need come the end of the month.
But I'm going to take my food in my chamber. I'm quite taxed by this
Oh,
day.
very well. I do have that group, the Greystons. They were planning on coming tomorrow morning, and, well, they always love seeing you, Thomas. So if you're breakfasting here, perhaps we'll come and rap upon your door.
Please do.
Blessed evening. May the wave take you.
And
Take you as well.
and yeah, you see, Leanne spoons a very, very nice kind of tin of a hearty-looking soup, pull off some bread to go with it, and you head back to your chamber. It's a lovely night, and I think as you're sort of reclining, is there anything in particular, Coleridge, that you're itching to do or looking to do?
I want to nap.
Cool. Who doesn't want to nap, dude? Let's talk about
I want to nap. And I don't often sleep through the night, anyhow, ever. So I'm not concerned with waking up. But I pull out that flyer of the man with the peaks and the time, and I think the temple is usually asleep by 9.
Yeah, oh, totally. Totally.
So I would like to get up at 10.
Cool.
And leave.
You're pretty practiced at this rhythm. It's part of how you style your day, sometimes taking like an 11 a.m. kip just to sort of keep sharp. But you awake. You hear the night abuzz with cicadas, the occasional lark, and also the sound of some sort of movement. Just sort of outside in the street. It's not completely, silent. That's my point.
Okay. I'm gonna take the gold. I'm gonna take the flower, and kind of make my way through the abbey down into the tombs.
Awesome. Cool. So you go down into the tomb. And as you sort of go down there, you have quite a lot sort of deep within this, and it's not necessarily like locked, although you tell me you definitely could probably lock it. It's just something where like your awareness of the movements of this temple are such that like people aren't down here. They come down here once every 4 years.
There's no reason to go down there unless we're placing someone down there.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone there. There's no homage paid down there. As far as locked from the inside of the abbey, no. But in my mind, and tell me if this is okay with you, that some of the tombs are locked with these kind of ancient, rusted. Some of the bodies that have been buried here are hundreds of years old. And then there's also a tunnel leading to an outside door on the side of the tomb that I use to get in and out.
No, totally. And definitely not unheard of in tombs like that, to be completely honest.
And it's pitch black dark in there, but I know my way to my tomb without having to light a fire. I think like it's been a year, and I've practiced it quite a lot. How many corridors to go down?
Yeah.
How many? So if any light kind of happens, I'll be able to see it off the walls. And then when I get to my tomb, which is the tomb of Father Van Zandt, who died hundreds of years ago, in his crypt I have leather armor, a set of fine clothes, a bag, some other goods, and a sailor's outfit. I put my 2 bags of gold there, and I take out 20.
20? Cool.
And I originally was going to take 3, what I usually take, but now I'm like,
fuck. Yeah.
let's live it up. Take out that disguise. I put a little bit of stubble on my face.
Sick.
Some light scarring around my eye, and I have a bandana. And I kind of put this loose-fitting kind of wardrobe on with these leather boots and kind of this mishmash leather armor. Tucked with my church daggers are now kind of viciously lined up across my chest.
Fuck yeah. Okay, love it. So you go down there. And as you say, I mean, you're going by feel. It's that sort of patina, worn stone, the deviations that mark the first tomb, then the second, the third, that chipped gap before the fourth, and you're almost there. And as you silently in the dark move through and almost by rote pull this sailor's sort of top over you and knot this sort of dirty bandana, apply the kind of stopper that holds some of this shadow and work it in along with some soot. You feel yourself changing. And forgive me, because you know me, and I don't like to necessarily do this, but I need to briefly ask Brian a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Because is it Riat?
Oh, Riat?
Riat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. So, in this pitch darkness, as you make your way and have changed, and as you move to this sort of outer exterior door to the tomb, that essentially leads to an area I can show you sort of here on the map. It leads essentially like here, almost like halfway up this hill. The tomb itself, you know, this is sort of a lot of the temple property.
Yeah.
But the tomb itself is almost like built in.
Yeah, okay.
And it comes out like here, along this hillside.
Great.
And you're used to this as well.
I kind of peek out and try to just make sure I'm not being watched or noticed or anything.
Make a perception check.
It's fairly dark there. It's 4.
You hear noise, like, but it's like that steady kind of hum. It's also really hard for you to place where it's coming from. But you look, and you see no one.
I'm gonna sneak out of there.
As you step out, you see, and couldn't see until you sort of stepped out of your peripheral. A couple, 2 men, unclear. Can you make a stealth check for me?
I don't think I'm proficient in stuff. No. 7.
7? Okay, that's so funny.
Terrible rolls.
They rolled a 2 + 3 for a 5. You freeze. You're like, oh, fuck. And you hear laughter between them, and they're sort of lingering. You're like right at their eye line, but you haven't like broken past this stone full enough to be fully like in the light. You wait. They continue on. Laughter, gaiety between them. And where are you heading tonight?
Well, I'm going to the menagerie.
Let's fucking go. I was hoping you'd go. Okay, sick.
And flip a coin through my hands and fingers. All right, well, yeah, let's have some.
Fucking love it. Now listen, Brian, not only are you like a fabulous actor who's great at this shit, but your character Coleridge has taken the actor feat. So, I mean, you really literally do have this ability, this access to mimicry. So you make your way. There's a vibrancy as you make your way outside the walls of the city. And it's not long, half a mile, but about 800 feet away, you start to see the top of the torches, the lights, the shadows cast from some of the raised canopies. And about 15, 20 minutes later, you make your way to Mephiphisophiles Menagerie. And you see a barker out in front, waiting to greet. Step right up, those that are looking for treats and tricks, trysts and follies. It is the menagerie that has charmed their way east to west and north to south. We come to you from the shuddering seas of the north to tell you tales of woe and move forward mysteries beyond believing. You, sir, fresh from the port I can see, the salt briming your clothes. Tell me, did you come seeking fortune or mystery?
Tell you what, I've come freshly paid, and I got a hole in my pocket, so I'll take both of those things, I'll tell you what. And I flick him a gold.
He catches it. Master! The most charming of evenings to you, sir. Gold will get you so far here in the menagerie. He bows deeply. Well, table games are within that striped canopy. And he points to this sort of like green and white twisting, large canopy tent. And beyond there, ye fair master, there do be tricks and mysteries to beguile the mind. And he points, and you see there's like almost like rows, almost like you know, like booths at a carnival in that sense. Some of them do have tops, but it's this smorgasbord. Some of them have their own barkers, and some of them you recognize actually from the flyer that you took. There's an outline of these different sort of toads. There's one where you see a bunch of masks and some sort of like hoop game where you throw rings, and then at the very, very far end, there's a separate black tent that's sort of at the end of the rows that does have some sort of sign outside of it that you can't see. But if you want to take a step closer, you can see, you know, all the stalls or whatever. Or,
yeah, I look around and I kind of, look at the games, knowing I think some of these games are unwinnable.
Yeah. Okay.
I assume there's, you know, pay a silver, get 10 in return to hang on a pole for 100 seconds. I believe that's one of the games. It cannot be done. Cannot be done. In a clear anti-magic field.
Hands above the bar.
I think that taking in the sights and seeing all these interesting folks, I kind of put off this kind of brash posturing and movement that I see sailors have, as if almost that I imagine what it is sea legs on the land kind of causes them to kind of walk drunkenly at all times. And I do that, as I've done before. I think the idea that I'm alone, I'm always kind of looking for pods of people.
Sure.
But I will also look for the most interesting thing that I see, which may be that black tent that you described.
Sure.
Do I recognize anybody that may come into the temple?
Give me a perception check.
These don't go well. Yeah. I should just... natural 20.
Let's fucking go. The boy can see. Yeah, anyone with a passive perception of 10, I'm like, okay, let's buckle up. I believe my passive perception is 11, so I have nothing to talk about. But yes, you look around, you do see you see Tyranny Goldenfield, the younger sort of heir to Master Goldenfield, one of the sort of lead kind of merchant families you'd actually seen in the ledger book whenever you first entered the Backbrooks. You see another family that has come in and donated. You actually helped. You're not really sure how you did it, but you're credited for curing some sort of sickness amongst one of their daughters. You also stole a piece of like silverware from them, so it was like one of those weird win-wins where you're like, damn, the power of the placebo. But there's not anyone that you necessarily know intimately, but I would say there's about 8 or 9 people that you do recognize on site.
Okay. And I kind of just smile and Tyranny Goldenfield, that's curious. I'll follow him.
Okay, cool. You see him, yeah, sure, give it a shot. You see him sort of toss a little gold to the man. It's just either one or any of the bottles I can toss, huh? All right. You see him throw, he's essentially playing the ring game. He hands over. First ring just clings hard off of this bottle. Second one, like lands on it, lips off, and rings off. Fuck yeah, but the last one, baby.
I got on there.
You see it like land and just plant. All right, look at that right there. What do I win?
you see her sort of point to the back, and there's a bunch of these like really colorfully painted masks. Is that fucking it? Like a mask, so keep it. You see him sort of slink off. He's about 40 feet.
That's quite a. I have to tell you, it's quite. I've seen a lot of people fail at this. Never seen anyone win.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I win things. He sort of
I
gives
guess-
you a look. You on one of my father's vessels?
Which vessel is that?
Well, he owns a whole fleet of them. Any of the Goldenfield ships. Just feel like I've seen you.
Not for a year or so. You're a Goldenfield.
Yeah.
My God. Let me buy you a drink then. You've put a lot of money in my pocket over the years. I can return the favor. If you don't mind drinking with the lowly swabby, do you?
And then he sort of turns. You can see that he's like with, and you knew this. I mean, like he's with another, like a female dwarf. He himself is a dwarf. You said you wanted to see the frogs,
and
right?
The missus as well. And yeah, just came in. No, I'm
Give me a
sailing
persuasion
out
check.
in a few days. But I just have money to spare. Persuasion would be with at advantage?
No.
No. Actor fee. All right, persuade 21.
Actor fee. That's what allows it to like not have a deception roll at all.
Oh, okay. So,
You know what I mean?
Sweet.
But
Yeah, I got
but yes, but 12 is not awful.
No,
tell you
21.
Oh, 21. Oh, bro.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, as long as it's not something like too gummy. And I don't want anything too sweet. You see her sort of pipe up. All right, not too gummy, not too sweet. Come on, this way. You see him sort of lead past, and there's a big kind of open, like gazebo-style terrace that apparently has been like built up. There's these wooden risers, only about 5 or 6 steps that lead up, but the effect is quite nice. It creates this sort of like walkabout and elevated space. On either side of it, you do see they've set up these kind of circular hubs where 2 individuals are slinging drinks.
Jaden Bellows is my name. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Goldenfield, yeah?
Yeah, they call me Tyrion, they call me Ty.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Jaden J, or shit stain, whatever you want to call it. Pardon me, not in front of the lady. Thanks. I sailed on one of your ships 2 years ago down to the Pinch, and
Wow.
well, we nearly lost the ship in a storm by a binnacle. I got pulled in, but were able to get out just in time. It's almost lost at sea for, well, the rest of my life. So you have to see, Mr. Ty. Every day is a blessing.
Yeah, I've heard about those pinnacles out there in the Pinch. It's dangerous waters. Glad
Incredible.
to hear you made it out. He pulls back. You guys are handed like 2. You pay the man. Mark 2 silver.
Nothing gummy and nothing too sweet.
He's sort of mixing. You see these there's like a bunch of herbs in one of these. You got it. Not too gummy, not too sweet. He's sort of like shaking this thing up, pours them in these like coupe glasses. They smell really kind of like fernet and cranberry. It's very sort of like astringent, herbaceous, somewhat bitter. Well, cheers. Sort of holds it up, clinks coupes with you. So, he's coming in for port and coming in and get a bit of fun. Where you make it all the way up, you make it to the Northern Sea. Where do you normally put in?
Yeah, but before Sunday I leave.
Oh, is that right? Shoving off Sunday. Well, should make the most of it. Lord knows we will.
Going north, they have a forest, rose with tides. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have, but I mean that's not real. There's no forest that sort of moves up and down. No forest can move the trees.
Doesn't matter if it's real or not. It pays, and I hold out like 4 gold and kind of twirl them through it, and it pays in advance. Let me get another round.
That's good coin. Around this time, there's a. You hear the break of onsetting weather. Yeah, I figure we could have another one, though. I want to make sure I can make it to the 10:30 show. Here, tell of it. It's not something you want to miss. So, come on. Maybe we have a quick one. He sort of shoots it back. You see the girl he's with is like not willing to get that hammered. She continues to sip. But he goes over and sort of motions 2 more. And without even thinking about it, he himself pulls out a gold, slaps it down, and slides it across. You got it. Sort of, again, shakes this up. He's not replacing your glasses. He refills them directly.
Okay. But you ever get out to sea? Hi.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's in our blood, you know. Well, I've been up to Foxglove. Let's see. I've been to Parspon, yeah. Spent a little bit of time. There's like a sort of a vacation town that's on the Azul Cliffs that actually my aunt helped open up some sort of. It's hard to describe it. It's sort of like it's like a group of hotels. It's like it's like an inn almost where you just sort of pay to get there and everything's sort of sorted. So it's very expensive, but if you can afford it, you know, it's done. You have to think about like, is that a silver? Is that a gold? You sort of, you know, go in and eat and drink and take in the sun and whatnot. It's quite nice. So yeah, I get out, you know. You can see he's like halfway through his drink. He's like, you know, dwarf, you know, probably like 160, 180 years old, like young, you know, young man. You're not sure if he's trying to impress you or the girl more, but he's like ping-ponging back and forth.
Did he get any vibe? Did I get any vibe off of him when I mentioned going up north to the Tide Forest?
Roll an insight check.
I knew it. 2.
Seems to genuinely have never heard of it.
Yeah. All right.
Come on. I don't want to miss this one. You're going to like it too. He sort of shoves you and again puts his hand around this sort of, you know, blonde-haired dwarf who like continues sipping. I hope it's not too scary. I don't like to be spooked. She sort of walks along with him. And as you guys sort of, you know, step down from this gazebo, it's, you know, 180 feet across to this area. But you see he's walking towards the black tent. And as he gets there, you see outside it, living mummy, woman of death. And it's a sigil. It's that same almost like fox-like, like angular face. It's very feline, I would describe it. Torso jutted and a scepter held. Come on. He pulls back this sort of, you know, kind of this dark sort of purple, the only thing that isn't like pure black, and pulls it back.
Yeah, I hesitate. What we're getting into here?
I don't quite know, but a friend of mine said it's a mix of like fire and freak show. It's supposed to be something else.
I'll go in.
And as you step through, Coleridge,
Jaden.
Yeah, I was thinking on that one. Thomas. Jaden.
That's a little tough.
Jay. No, I have so many, I couldn't find it quick enough.
Yeah,
but but as you step through, you feel a rush and a heat that you haven't felt since that night in the Diamond Wastes. It's a burning in your chest. For a brief moment, you feel lightheaded, and your vision pins. And as you just round sort of the back of this, you start to see the front of the stage. A smell hits you eerie and familiar. And that's where we're going to pick up in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
My guy.
Dude, how did you prepare all that shit?
No, dude, you gave me such a great backstory, man.
You got a town, you got all these maps, and you had the inside of like
no, dude. I've been jazzed on this, man. I love your backstory. I love the idea of this actor guy just going ham on everybody.
All right.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for kicking it with us. That was such a blast, Brian. That was so much fun, dude.
It's so good. Yeah, that was so nerve-wracking.
Appreciate you
Very
guys.
cool. I was like, well, it's a strange thing because I don't want to fucking start shooting off spells in front of these people.
No, dude, I did not even anticipate that. I see, that's what I love about this session. Like Brian and I, and we talked about it, like we know each other, so we know how we want to play, but like we didn't really properly do a session 0, right? And so that was this was a bit kind of it, but it was like good, your reticence to use magic I didn't expect, which is very cool, but I get it. It's fucking dope.
So I just had to, I was like, oh shit.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Amons, so good to see you. Bugles up. Fuzka, absolutely adore you. Excited for the stream anniversary. Thank you for the support and love. Maxi, my boy Rambo. Let's fucking go, dude. Guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for coming through. Richter, you were killing me, dude. You guys are hilarious. So if you don't know by now, this is a world that Brian and I built. His character Coleridge, I'm going to DM. He's going to DM my character Gabriella, and we're going to essentially alternate weeks within this same map and world. So I'm super pumped, and I don't know, man. Like Brian and I have created a lot of stuff together, but this is the first time we've done something like this, which is really fun.
Yeah. So this is sweet. This is a lot of, man, God. It's like I have so much more pressure writing notes when it's just me. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God, you're right. It's like, yo, you better get the notes right, dude. Like there's nothing else. There's no one else. Yeah.
I can't ask like Matt Trim or I can't ask like our other players like, so that person.
Yeah. Who was there?
Right? We know them.
No, completely agree.
Thank you. I'm not on the Twitch. I don't see who's there, but thank you guys so much for coming out and enjoying. I hope it was mildly entertaining.
No, man, that was awesome. I truly, absolutely love you guys. Thank you for rolling through. Tomorrow, the Find Your Dog Challenge, take 2 is happening. Me, Marley, pajamas, bring that ass. And then Friday, hopefully, God willing, I will beat Zelda in a single sitting. So that's the plan. But y'all, come through, send us love. Next Wednesday, we'll be back here doing the same thing. We got to raid somebody on my way out the door. We got to raid somebody on the way out the damn door. Let's slide in on my boy from afar. I really enjoy this guy. This is David. He's hilarious. And this is the guy we ran into at Renfest last year.
Oh, cool.
But if you can, please pop in and give Davey some love. The From Afar podcast is an incredible actual play. They also champion a lot of, just underrepresented voices. They do an amazing job with both their cast and their storytelling. Guys, I love y'all. I'm so pumped that we've gotten it off the ground, dude. This is going to be such a fun stretch of the New Moon Chronicles. It's going to be great. Anything before we get out of here, Brian?
No, I'm excited to see everybody next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's rip.
I don't know, where we meet Gabriella.
I am very nervous, but because Gabriella has even less hit points than you. And agreed, Max, seeing a character with more AC than hit points is intense. My AC is even lower, and my hit points are even lower. So buckle up.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm so fucked.
I think like a guy in robes has a 10 AC, right? I think
100%. Unless they're like crippled, unless they have negative dex,
Yeah, no, it's like 10 AC. He's just like,
Oh my God. Guys, I love y'all. Thanks for coming through and supporting us. Y'all are the best. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you next week. Bride guy. Love you, dude.